Tensions spread through Black Lives Matter Plaza. The few who gathered here braced for the worst, a seemingly natural reflex after so many past disappointments. What are you feeling right now?
Anxious, nervous, afraid.
Complete strangers huddled together with smartphone volumes on high, waiting for the moment that brought equal amounts surprise and relief.
Oh, thank God. As an African-American woman, I am glad that I have lived to see this in my lifetime. I never thought I would live to see it, and I am 91 years old.
Similar scenes played out in other parts of the country, gatherings to honor the life of George Floyd, whose murder sparked a national reckoning on racism and police brutality. The president recognizing that conversation is far from over.
There's systemic racism is a stain on our nation's soul. The knee on the neck of justice for Black Americans. Profound fear and trauma. The pain, the exhaustion that Black and brown Americans experience every single day.
And for the country's first Black, first woman vice president, a vow to do better.
This verdict brings us a step closer, and the fact is, we still have work to do. We still must reform the system.
For a community whose pain has been ignored for centuries, this verdict represents a recognition so many never expected.
The cards don't always fall our way. It's not fair all the time. Even though it may go the other way, sometimes it just doesn't, it's not fair.
What do you think this verdict says to America?
It pretty much says that we're here. The police, they have to treat us fairly. And that, yeah, I'm just a loss at words, I'm sorry.
So, Katie, where you're standing right now, there were, tense demonstrations last summer, and I'm curious about the feel tonight.
There is a sense of relief, and things here are incredibly calm and have emptied out. Throughout the afternoon, we saw people sort of checking the scene out, but really, it is such a different scene from what we've seen in so many of those other demonstrations. Let me just take a step out of the way. We're right across the street from the White House here, and this has been the site where we have seen those demonstrations where police pushed up against protesters, where military troops were stationed here, making downtown Washington, D.C. look like a militarized zone. Tonight, relief, calm, and not many people out on the streets. Adrienne.
All right, Katie Simpson in Washington. Thank you, Katie. So reaction here in Canada, too. Here's what Prime Minister Justin Trudeau had to say about today's verdict.
It is good news that we saw the verdict come through where people hoped it would, but it still underlines that there's an awful lot of work to do. And what we saw over the course of last year with a sudden awareness by everyone of what racialized Canadians and racialized people across and around the world had known for far too long.
Trudeau was asked about the verdict during an interview on the program Real Talk with Ryan Jesperson.